that
If you're
down.
wandering around Prague, you see a sign that says Pivo, that's where you want to be.
You might think it means something else, but it doesn't. It means beer. Coming to you virtually live from the Beer to Whiskey Studios on the floor of the Greenville Beer Exchange Tap Room, GBX as we like to call it. I'm Russ Heaps, and welcome to this episode of Big John and Five. And that's where I get my good buddy here, Big John Richards, to pick a beer from one of GBX's, how many taps?
We got 20 of them down here, not counting the meads.
20.
Yeah, fun times.
20 taps, or hundreds of bottles of cans in the store up front. And we sniff them, we sip them, we kibitz about them. John tells us a little bit about the brewery, and sometimes we even learn a little bit about the history of brewing. And having said all that, John, what do we have?
Well, we've got one of our somewhat local boys, or outfits, from down in Charleston that is making quite a name for themselves for several years now. Edmund's Oast. Shout outs to them, our friend of the program here at GBX too. So they've got this guy called Fistful of Foam, which we had enough technical difficulties. There's not much more of the actual foam left. You can see all the lacing there.
Yeah, you can kind of see how high the foam was on this.
Right.
We haven't been drinking this. It's the foam just settled down, but it was a big hit.
Right. Yeah, it's a pretty beer. It's a Czech-style pale lager, so they're not technically calling it a pilsner. But a lot of Czech beer doesn't always say pilsner. It calls itself pale lager. It calls itself, some other various and sundry Czech words with pivo at the end. So if
it doesn't have pivo, it's not Czech.
Pivo is Czech for beer.
Oh, there
right?
you go.
So in case you want to know,
Write that
if you're
down.
wandering around Prague, you see a sign that says pivo, that's where you want to be.
You might think it means something else, but it doesn't. It means beer.
So this was fun for me when we put this up here, because this was an immediate flashback to what Pilsner Urquell tasted like to me in Prague. I just, like, flashbulb memory. I did a little tour. They called it an underground bar tour while I was there. And one of the places they took us was a dinner spot, and everybody got Pilsner Urquell, because Urquell, the company, actually brings beer in a tanker truck to this restaurant and fills
Oh, wow.
their taps in a huge bright tank from a tanker truck at some interval, like probably when they run out.
Once every 2 or 3 days,
Yeah,
I'm
right.
assuming.
Yeah, and absolutely stupid good food. And when I picked up that Pilsner Urquell from that restaurant, I was like, wow, that's a big, flavorful, expressive Pilsner. And this one did the same thing. It's got those big, grainy, cereal-y sweet notes right up front, and then it drops into the spicy, herbal kind of, like what I've come to call medicine bottle kind of, like when you open a bottle of vitamins and you get that herbal smell out of it, that kind of spiciness on the finish. Really crisp, but just a clean, crisp, almost sharp, quick dry finish on the end of it. And it's such a wonderful beer. These Czech lagers, I'm so glad that these and the dark lagers are getting their due in American craft brewing now. So we're starting off our day with a
Pivo.
With a pivo. There you go.
With a pivo. Let's give it a
Get
shot.
used to it. Yeah.
Text Miss Lily.
Oh yeah, I mean, you just smell all that garden on the front end of that.
Yep.
You get the little bit of, it's a little grassy. It's that viney is the word I'm going to use there. I associate it with tomato vines. You know, the way tomato vines smell, not the way tomatoes smell. If you're actually walking through a nursery or something, you get into the tomatoes, you smell that vine. That's what's on the back of this, and it's so clean and so dry, and there's just enough bitterness on the end to dry it up without getting too lingering.
Yeah, I'm getting the grassy,
Yeah.
that the herb. I did get the herbal stuff on the nose, but I'm getting the grassy
Yeah.
thing big time. I wouldn't have described anything as tomato vines, but
Right.
I don't
It's- and
I
this
don't truck
isn't-
in that stuff.
This isn't quite exactly what I think of with tomato vines, but it's dancing around that. It's giving me that real like earthy like smell of like a nursery when you walk inside.
It just sort of evaporates off your tongue, and you want another
Right.
sip.
It makes it you're just ready.
Yep.
As soon as you get
Yep.
there, it's just enough balance, just enough sweetness, and then that bite on the end just cleans it right up and it's gone. And then you're ready for another one, which I'm going to dive back in on.
Yeah, me too. Pivo is Czech for "I want more, please."
Yeah. Actually, I think that works.
I like that a lot.
Yeah, it's such a good beer. They just do awesome interpretations of what they do, and this is one of the things that they do really well. They have a great sour program down there, a bunch of different fruited sours that aren't these big milkshakey things. They're just straight, clean sour beers with a fermentation addition of fruit that they're all superb, really well balanced. Their big beers are well balanced. Their little beers are well balanced. Just knocking out of the park down there.
Yeah, this is really good. When did John pull some shifts in here? He bartends in here 2 or 3 times a week.
That's how I got my foot in the door of the corner into Narnia here.
Exactly, exactly. And one Friday night when I came in to visit him, one of the owners of Edmund's Oast, who also Edmund's Oast used to own this once upon a time. And in South Carolina, you can't own a brewery and a
retail
package
establishment,
store.
yeah.
A retail store. So, but he was in here, and it was a great night. One of the reasons why it was such a great night was that Devin, the owner, was pulling things out of his cellar.
Right.
Some really good stuff.
Never know what might happen in the old
Yeah.
tasting room at GBX.
That's right.
Never know.
That's right. Anything else?
No, this is fun stuff. This is good, clean beer. This is one of those great summery beers that'll get you where you're going, and I think we can let them go find it.
I think we can
Yeah.
too. All right.
Here's to it.
So damn lucky. See you next time.